This is something I want to do on every episode. If you could build a dream team with 5 people that have lived in the last 200 years, who would be on your dream team?
And you're talking about like in business or like in
It could be in any. I'm saying like it could be anything. Like if you could be in a room with 5 people, who would you put in that room?
Oh, that was easy. We're gonna go Booker T. Washington for sure.
That's a go.
Yeah, like he was that guy.
I did a project on him in high school. That was a real good one.
So many great leaders, man. Oh man,
Booker T.
I'm
Washington.
gonna do the. Oh man, I gotta do.
What? Wait.
Yeah.
What assignment would you give Booker T? Like, what would you have him do? Or what would you?
When I even talked to him about?
Right.
He was just an incredible individual. He really broke color barriers. He was able to establish a system. He pretty much was post-slavery, type situation. So we're 100 years away from that. You know what I mean? So we don't have.
We're still slaves though, but yeah, we
don't have that level of indoctrination or whatever was there. Like he was able to have a mental freedom and as well a execution ability that said you can't do that. Yeah, he's a great one. Man, there's so many great ones. I'll throw a woman's name out there that most people don't know her, but I definitely look forward to like meeting her. And shout out to her, Suzanne Shank. So Suzanne Shank is a financial investor. She is a woman. She is a sister, and she's probably in Atlanta or Georgia area. She went to Spelman. I'm pretty confident, but she is a financial investor. She has over $1 trillion transaction history. It's been recorded. So I would love to give shout out to her on this episode as well for people to know who she is, to become familiar with who she is. So when people talk about billionaires, there are people in our community that have already had $1 trillion transaction history. And her husband works with her now, but she started that company with another lady and she's been doing it for over 20 years. So once again, what do you talk to that individual about? She has an incredible financial acumen. She has the ability to connect with other cultures, because when you're in high finance, you have to be able to connect with other cultures. It's not just your culture there.
No, for sure. Money is money. Well, currency is currency.
Yeah, so she obviously has she's fierce, man. I mean, you don't get to that level of financial transactions unless you're working incredibly hard, unless you're able to build incredible teams.
We have battle scars.
Yeah, she has battle
losses,
scars. Yeah. But she's able to build teams, and that's important too. How well are you want to learn how to build a team, you go find somebody that's built great teams. She didn't do $1 trillion transaction history by herself. So it shows you that not too many big things happen unless you actually have a team around you. So even those two alone, I think we could do a lot,
Yeah, definitely.
Muhammad Ali. Actually, I was thinking about him last night, man.
That's a good one.
He was such a freedom fighter. He stood up for freedom. And no matter
not only that, he stood up against war.
That's what I mean, freedom fighter.
Yeah,
he's a freedom fighter. Like how many people are going to stand up for freedom? He spoke. He spoke. It's just they're in cancel culture now. So for him to speak like that, he was canceled too.
And they still couldn't stop him.
Yeah, I mean they took his boxing license away. They tried to throw him in jail and stuff. Muhammad, but he still stood on his 10 toes on what he not just believed in, but for the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's important. How many people are going to stand up for the right thing when they need to stand up for it and speak on it? He spoke on it. It's okay to speak on it. Like you say, it's okay to stand on your opinion, and you got to be okay with going with it. And it's just interesting to see that, how, and for sure, even thinking about that right now, I'd be so remiss not to put Muhammad Ali on that list, man. I'm really excited about the list.
He reminds me of a person, but I'll bring him up after I get you
Muhammad Ali. How many do I get? I think I'm happy with that.
You have 2 more.
I have 2 more. It's getting gritty now.
You got Booker T in the room.
Yeah.
Say her name one more time for us.
Suzanne Shank.
Suzanne Shank and Muhammad Ali.
Like you say, even Malcolm, man. Malcolm was able to get on TV. he was considered to be a part of this is just my opinion and from
Product
what
of
my
society.
observation, he was considered to be a part of an extremist organization at the time. So for him to be accepted and be like, he was the one that spoke for the
Well,
organization.
anything that went against white privilege was extremist.
Yeah,
You know,
the media portrayed it as that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but we gotta call it out too, because but like that's how powerful he was. That's how much he developed himself.
Yeah,
You know,
he came a long way for sure.
yeah. I mean, pimping, I guess, or whatever. You know,
Being illiterate.
yeah, exactly. Even if that's the case, that's huge.
Yeah.
You know, because it shows that you can do it.
I was watching a debate with him this morning. One thing I did realize about it, he did like always go back to Elijah Muhammad, and I feel like that was the biggest thing holding him back. Like, he should have been his own like.
You can't. You're under an organization.
Yeah, but when you're giving one man credit for the work you're doing, that bothers me a little bit. What does that remind you of?
It's a form of idol worship. Simple as that.
So with that being said, who do you thank when you work hard or when something good happens to you?
Oh, always give praises to the Most Highs in the universe, ancestors. I'm my ancestors' greatest representation right now.
The most current.
Yeah. Hopefully we're the best version of them and they're proud of us, you know what I mean?
Me and my brother was looking through the screen door yesterday, and he has a son. My daughter was there, and they was playing. I said, bro, we just divided our DNA, and now our DNA is playing with our DNA.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's some real scientific, spiritual stuff, you know? It's like real cosmic if you can think that way, you know?
Yeah.
It's not mundane, like, oh, I just had a kid.
No, I
You know?
created life.
Yeah, literally.
And that life is a reflection of me.
It's powerful, man. It's
That
a
is-
very,
that
very
is
powerful
deep.
thing. It's one of those things we're not trained or taught on how powerful it is to have a human life.
How far back did you go in your family? Like, how far back did you trace it?
I've traced my family to Europe, and in Europe, I've traced my family to Europe.
I traced my
I
family.
traced it to Africa too.
We went back all the way. I went back all the way to the Phoenicians. I don't know if you ever heard of the Phoenicians.
Of course,
They
right.
created the color purple.